All right, welcome back to another episode of the Urban Frame. Today we're deep diving into Those Not Afraid issue 1. What can I say? This book overall, my, it's beautiful. If I had to rate it, it's good, but we'll get to that later. It gave me the vibes of a modern day Murder She Wrote meets Matlock. My. If you know anything about Johnny Gill, then you know the mind was smooth. Overall, the book was almost a touch of perfection for issue 1, as far as my humble personal opinion. It was written by Cal Starks and artwork by Patrick Pizzaglani. Sorry if I butchered your name, sir, but we're going to call you Patrick P. We're going to call you PP. There we go. The story takes place in current day, but Kyle opens the story up as a flashback. In 1989, the killer left a trail of 56 bodies or 57 bodies. The young lady escaped, so that would have been the record at the time, but she naturally escapes. And then we speed up to current day, where we come across a young lady that's producing a podcast. The podcast is labeled Too Many Killers, and basically the podcast is centered around the serial killings in her town, which has 2 serial killers at the time. The young lady name is Cece. Without spoiling much, the story is a masterpiece. It's one of those things that definitely should be on your radar if you haven't read it yet. Now let's deep dive into the artwork. Overall, the artwork was a masterpiece in itself. Patrick did his thing on it as well, and it deserves as much as praise as the actual written story deserved. It really meshed well with the story. It was one of those things, both things combined, it came out great. The coloring, the angles, just how everything was actually put together in this book, it made me actually feel like I was watching something as a Law and Order, or actually just watching it in cinema. The story is, well, the artwork and the way it was shown was definitely one of the things I really loved about this story. It really brought it to life. As far as readability, the bubbles were structured well, the dialogue was clear and concise. I really can't say anything bad about the readability of the book. It was just that well put together. All right, so my conclusion: will Those Not Afraid stay on my pull list? Absolutely yes. I'm even willing to go as far as to say it's very early on, and hopefully I don't kick myself by saying this, but I'm going to go on and say that this is going to be in my top 5 of 2025. It's not too many books that I actually come across, and much as I read, that actually captivate me off rip. This one is one of those ones that actually grabbed me, pulled me in, and it's just intrigued me all the way through. When you look at the cover of this book, it doesn't quite justify the artwork in the book, but I'm not gonna lie, I gave it a shot, and man, it was that. If you haven't read it, I strongly encourage you, go out, uh, pick up yourself a copy, read it, and hop down in the comments to let me know. But enough about that. Let me know what you felt about it if you haven't read it. If you have read it, hop down in the comments below so we can continue the conversation regarding this. I guess my question I should be asking you: will Those Not Afraid, will that be on your pull list? Will it remain on your pull list? Let me know. Let's continue the conversation below. Let's move on to our next. All right. So next up, what we have is Ultimate Wolverine issue 1. Again, I feel like this series, for these previous books, Those Are Not Afraid and Ultimate Wolverine #1, I'm not gonna lie, it's very rare that I read 2 books back to back that I'm actually excited for. But without further ado, let's get into it. Ultimate Wolverine #1. I believe this is this the B cover? I don't know. Correct me below. I know this is not A, but I definitely believe that this is the B cover. This book right here, I can say I was very pleased about it. The crazy thing about me is I live in Chicago and I go to Indiana because that's where I spend my time. Don't worry about what I'm doing in Indiana. But no, that's where I spend my time, and that's where my local comic book shop is that I actually go to. Working on a relationship with the comic book shop out here in Chicago. We'll get to that at a later date, but hey, whatever. But back to this. I had to wait 2 weeks because what I do, I go down to Indiana every other week. So unfortunately, Ultimate Wolverine fell on my bye week. So I had to literally wait 2 weeks to get this book. And I wanted to go to another comic book shop out here, but I was like, I had already ordered these books, so I was like, hey, let me just be faithful to what I do and let's just wait the 2 weeks out. It's not really a rush for me to get the content out. I just wanted to read the book. So this was at the top of my radar for weeks to read it. And overall, it didn't disappoint. It was honestly 32 pages of straight action. It offered us the traditional Wolverine origin stories in a way, and don't kill me because guys, I haven't really read too much of the Ultimate Universe. Actually, when I decided to start this channel, I just hopped in. So how I actually went about getting some of my books, I'm grabbing things like #1 issues and things that actually stand out to me where I feel like I can get in and just understand somewhat of a story starting at that point. So don't crucify me too much for not knowing too much of the backstory of the whole Ultimate Universe. But without further ado, like I said, Wolverine was 32 pages of straight action. It offers you your traditional Weapon X slash Wolverine story, and also in the same sense, it gives you glimpses of, some more of your traditional X-Men. You got Nightcrawler, Colossus, Omega Red, and who was it? Mystique. Definitely a great story. Artwork, definitely on point. It was just straight action packed. I mean, to be honest with you, my favorite part of the book, outside of the paneling and coloring, the scene with Nightcrawler versus Wolverine, 10 to 10. You can't go wrong with that. So this book actually delivers everything you would actually expect from any traditional Wolverine story. Straight violence, straight action packed, quick, boom, 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 right to the pace. The artwork captures the grit and the intensity and raw emotion of Wolverine's world flawlessly. The dark, dramatic tones elevate the vibe of the story and gives it an edge you would expect from a Wolverine title. Honestly, the visuals were better than I actually anticipated. This is top tier Marvel work, definitely above average. Let's talk about the readability. When we talk about the readability for this book, it's smooth, well paced. It's one of those things as good as you get. I'm not expecting a bad read, honestly, from Marvel. Although some DC books, i.e., that I'll talk about later at a later point, that I absolutely hate because I just feel like the writing is, I'm not going to say it's all over the place, but it is not as tight as I like my stories to be tight. But overall readability on this story is good, straight to the point. You can't complain about it. Oh, will the Ultimate Wolverine stay on my pull list? I don't know. What do you think? Going once, going twice. Yes, it will be staying on my pull list. It's one of those things that grabbed me straight out the gate. Um, I'm fully hooked at this point. I can't wait to get my hands on issue 2. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure all of you read this. I mean, hop down in the comments below. Let me know what you really think about it. To me, I loved it. It's staying on my pull list. It was action packed. If I had to rate this, I'm definitely giving this story 5 frames out of 5. Artwork, 5. Readability, 5. Story pace, 5. Cover, 5. 5 frames across. This is definitely something that's on my pull list until the entire run is over. But what about you? Is it on your pull list? Let me know. Not sure when this video is going to come out. Hopefully it doesn't come out too late down the road, but I'm very eager to finish this run and get to it. It's almost like, this reminds me of my Storm run. I have not even touched that yet. I had to go back, curate issue 1s and 2s, and then I had to get all the current issues. So now that I have the first 4 issues all together, I'm actually going to binge read that to get caught up so I can actually bring out my review for that. But other than that, guys, hop down in the comments below. Let me know what you think, whether I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, or if you agree with me on staying on the pull list. Either way it goes, guys. Stay up, read some good stuff. Until next time, guys, hop in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Let's continue the conversation down there. Peace.